Okay, moving on to our next segment, Creed 3. We'll move on to my review.
You saw that.
When you saw
boxing
Cocaine
movie.
Bear, I saw Creed 3 last night.
Right.
It was a late show. It was
That's why I
7:30.
didn't go to see it.
And it's like a 1 hour, 55 minutes. And then they played 15 minutes of commercials again, which I don't like, because they were doing like nothing before. And now it's
Right.
up to 15 minutes.
Now, my movie last night, I saw a lot of trailers, although I can't remember which ones they were. But I didn't see as many commercials.
That's
It
one of
varies.
that's one of the reasons why they're not supposed to show too many trailers and commercials, because there's no retention at all. There's no memory retention. When you show 5 trailers in a
I
row,
know.
you can't remember what you saw.
I know there was a trailer for Strays, and there was only about 10 of us there in the theater, and everyone was laughing so hard when we watched the trailer for Strays. I can't wait for that one.
We already did a trailer reaction for
Yeah.
that. Every time I see that, I laugh. I'm like,
These
yeah,
people,
that's good.
They hadn't seen it before, and they were laughing so hard. It's just like a couple-minute trailer. It is good for laughs if
Well,
you're
most
feeling
people
down.
most people wouldn't have seen that trailer, because they're not like us. They're not watching trailers all the time that come out.
No.
The only time they would see it is if they go to the movies.
Yeah, and they were loving it.
Okay. And talking about an older crowd, a younger crowd would see all the trailers on YouTube right away.
I don't think so. It's just mostly you.
Okay. Getting back to what we were talking about. Creed 3.
Okay,
So,
Creed 3, boxing movie.
This is a non-spoiler review.
Okay.
I put out a
I
reaction
didn't see
video, but to talk about it more, this movie was all right. I wouldn't recommend seeing it if you're not this is not your thing, like these boxing movies.
Yeah, I'm not into boxing
If you're not
movies.
a Rocky or a Creed fan, I wouldn't bother, because like these characters aren't going to speak to you.
Right.
The way they've done this is, well, for me, I saw the first one on streaming and I was surprised how good it was. So then when the second one came out a couple of years back, I went to go see it and I wasn't that impressed. It was like kind of a meandering or a moderate level Rocky movie,
Okay.
except with Creed.
Not the
Okay?
best then.
So it was just, it's okay, but we've seen this so many more times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they came out with this one, and this 3 is better than 2, in my opinion, but it's not as good as 1. And so it's the classic story. It's always the classic underdog story.
Right.
And
Which is
so,
a good story.
so
most of the
Adonis
time.
Creed, he's the underdog, and then he's up against his old friend. This is in the trailer, Damien.
Okay.
So it's an old friend, and he's coming to...
His old friend went to jail for him. That was in the trailer.
Yeah, you got the impression of that in the trailer.
Yeah.
And you get the impression from the trailer, they're going to fight, right? So
okay, I didn't get that. I didn't know that part, but I basically he's
that's what
feeling-
all these movies
he's
are about.
become famous, and his friend went to jail and never made anything of his life.
Yeah.
And now he
and they
has
put
great success, and his friend's out of jail. This is like the
Yeah,
idea?
and they put it in the trailer. He's like, I'm coming for all of it.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So, there's going to be a fight between the two of them. It's Jonathan Majors, which we've seen in lots of stuff lately. Seen him as Kang recently in Quantumania and Loki season 1. And I saw him in Devotion recently in the fall, or October or November. He was in that Devotion movie. It was about he played a pilot in the Korean War for the U.S.
Right. Yes.
For the U.S. Navy.
He's good at acting.
Oh yeah, so I'm seeing him in a lot of different stuff. He's quite good in this. He was a really good villain.
That's good.
I'm not going to spoil what happens. I mean, everyone, like all the characters are back. It's in the cast list, except for Rocky. We know he's not in it because of previous movies, and also he's not on the cast list.
Yeah.
And because of what's going on in the media right now with Sly Stallone and his brother are going on about they're kind of making themselves not look good in the media right now. Oh, they've been fighting with the owner of the rights for the Rocky movies.
Oh.
He's fighting with them publicly.
Oh.
I don't really want to get into that.
Okay.
Okay. However, it was an alright movie. These characters don't really speak to me. So I'm not as attached to Adonis or his wife or his kid. Now, they put a lot of emotion into this movie. This movie is all character and emotional moments, right? So it's about his relationships, not just with his old friend Damien, but a lot of it is with him and his daughter, okay? So they put a lot of emotion into everything so that they try to tug at your heartstrings. It didn't really work for me. This is Michael B. Jordan's first directorial debut, so it was a good
effort, yeah.
Yeah, it was a good
the
effort,
story
but
was a bit maybe not the greatest.
maybe they could have taken out 25-30 minutes because it was 2 hours, and you don't need that.
Right.
You don't need that.
Right.
You're just dragging it out at that point. I think they could have cut out some of the stuff maybe with Tessa Thompson. Not that she's not amazing in it. It's just they didn't do much with her character at all.
Right.
This was kind of a nothing movie to me, and therefore, unfortunately, I have to give it a worst movie ever.
Oh.
Because, like, I'm not gonna go back and watch this. The first one is the best, and I still haven't gone back to watch that.
Oh well.
That was directed by Ryan Coogler, who he left the Creed franchise. Well, don't mind that leg sticking out there. You know, that's just a random creature on Coruscant here. What was I saying there? I forgot.
You're talking.
We're talking about Creed.
Creed and the director. And...
Yeah, Tessa Thompson's good in it.
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan's first shot. It's yeah. Oh yeah, I was talking about the first one. The first Creed, which is the best one, was directed by Ryan Coogler. Now he had a hand in this, but not as big because he left the Creed franchise to go do those Black Panther movies.
Oh yes.
He's the director and writer on both of them.
I really didn't like the first one. I really liked the second one. So I don't know. I guess
Black Panther.
Yeah, Black Panther. But I guess if you like Creed the first one, you probably would enjoy this.
Are you gonna check out any of these movies?
I'm not. I don't. Like I said, I'm not into sports movies and definitely not boxing.
I don't find these Creed movies have as much emotional weight as, say, the first couple of, well, the first two Rocky movies and then the last one, Rocky Balboa. Yeah. They had a lot more of emotion and resonance for me than these Creed ones. It's not that the acting's not good or anything. But
is it just about some guys strutting their stuff a lot?
No. It's the Rocky stories are always the same. It's the classic underdog.
Yeah.
It's just they don't really make me feel for this character.
Okay.
And if you don't care about the characters, then it's what do I care what happens between him and his daughter, or him and his wife, or him and his old buddy? I don't give a damn. It's just they place too much emphasis, I think, in the first ones on the relationship between Creed, Adonis Creed, and Rocky. So, it just didn't speak to me. However, I know this franchise has lots of fans.
Yeah,
so
it does.
are you a fan of the Creed franchise?
It.
Well, I mean, they're still showing those Rocky movies all the time. Are you a fan of Creed movies? Are you a fan of the Rocky movies? Have you seen Creed 3? Let us know your thoughts down below. I mean, wasn't bad, but I'm not going to revisit it. I'm not trying to say anything bad about it.